Hi everyone, this is 8:30 Prep. It's a experiment that I'm running with my producer Damien. Say hello, Damien.
What's up?
That's Damien over there. We're going to try to get a couple angles and I'm going to do some streaming. This is a studio that we built out of it. It's not a Twitch streaming studio. I need to get some purple and blue lights and really become a great Twitch streamer. What we're doing is SAT and ACT prep. I do lessons and problems, ask questions. So one of the things I'm going to put down in the comments here is phil@3rprep.com. That's my email. You are more than welcome to email me questions if you're involved in this as we keep practicing. It's something that I'm going to be doing continuously throughout the school year during the testing season and answering SAT questions. And I've got a great lesson tonight. How's the board look, Damien? We got the board ready to go?
Get it up there.
Let's get the board up. Let's jump into this. All right. So tonight is a lesson on a thing called rational functions. And what a rational function is dividing by algebra. So a ratio is two integers to each other, like 2 to 3, and you could write that as a fraction. Rational functions just means algebra divided by algebra. What I did was go through a couple of the SATs that are posted online and pull off the rational functions. I'm going to teach you how to solve them by a trick. And it's one of my favorite tricks, and it's plugging in a number. So I can teach you the algebra, or I can teach you the trick. So there's going to be a little bit of algebra involved, but mostly tricks. So when if you're taking the SAT on March 14th, look for this problem and use this technique. And the technique is to set x equal to 0 or 1 and plug it in. This is one of my favorite questions. It says, if x is greater than 3, which of the following is equivalent to 1 all divided by 1 divided by x plus 2 plus 1 divided by x plus 3? It looks really, really ugly, and there's some ugly answers and there's some simple answers. But if I plug x equals 0 in, I get 1 divided by 1 divided by 0 plus 2 plus 1 divided by 0 plus 3, which simplifies to 1 over 1/2 plus 1/3. You should know how to do fractions really quickly. And to do fractions quickly, you multiply the denominators and you cross-multiply the denominators to the numerators. If it's 1/2 plus 1/3, the answer is 5/6. Well, this is 1 divided by 5/6. And when you divide by a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. So the answer is 6/5. Take a look and follow Phil's rules. Rules number 4 is to use the answers. Take a look at all the answers here, A, B, C, and D, and which one of them has 6/5? B. That's the right answer. Well, let's plug in 0 to prove that it's right. Let's have a pen, Phil. How about a pen? Why is the pen not coming? 0 plus 0 plus 6 over 0 plus 5 equals 6/5. That's really ugly algebra, but really easy if I put x equals 0. Students argue with me all the time. But the question says x is greater than 3, Phil. No, I don't care. Plug in 0. Plug in 1. If 0 doesn't work, plug in 1. You can plug in any number, but the SAT always does these rational functions on the calculator section. And the answer is B. These are all straight off of the SAT website. Test number 2, which they've pulled down recently because I think the math was a little too hard. But this one isn't too hard. It says 5x minus 2 divided by x plus 3 is equivalent to. Notice the word. They're always checking what these rational functions are equivalent to. Well, once again, let's plug in x equals 0. And I get 5 times 0 is 0 minus 2. 0 plus 3 is 3. I'm looking for negative 2/3. Is 5 minus 2 divided by 3 equal to negative 2/3? No, because it would be negative 2/3. That's just wrong. Is 5 minus negative 2/3 negative 2/3? No. I can do this question down to 50-50 in seconds. That's the beautiful technique of plugging in a number. When there's an algebra in the question and algebra in the answers, you plug in your own numbers. All right, now let's plug in 0 for answer choice C. I get 5 minus 2 over 3. Well, wait a second. Doesn't that just look like B that I crossed out? It's wrong. D's the answer. I can literally do this question faster than I can read it. That's how easy this technique is. And the SAT came out years ago and said, we're going to eliminate techniques and we're going to eliminate tutors. I noticed the tutoring business hasn't been eliminated, and they certainly haven't eliminated test prep tricks because this one works perfectly well. Let's check out the answer, and that is 5 minus 17 over 0 plus 3. To convert 5 into thirds, I multiply by 3 over 3, and I get 15 minus 17 over 3, which is equal to negative 2 over 3. Does negative 2 over 3 equal negative 2 over 3? Yes. Found the answer. All right, let's check out another one. Ooh, test number 3. I had a student ask me about polynomial long division and synthetic division. These rational functions are using polynomial long division. So, geez, who was the student that asked me about synthetic division? Somebody who emailed me. I'd have to check my email. Sorry, I forgot. All right, ooh, this thing is ugly. Look how nasty this problem is. 24x squared plus 25x minus 47. All divided by ax minus 2 is equal to negative 8x minus 3 minus 53 over ax minus 2. Blah, 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 blah. What's the value of a? What the hell do I do? Well, because a is a coefficient of x, if I plug in 0 for x, I eliminate the a, so this isn't going to work. So I have to go with 1. All right, ready? 24 times 1 squared is 24. Plus 25 times 1 is 25. Minus 47 all over a. I'm going to have to move this bad boy. Let me see. Can I grab this whole thing and move it? Yeah, I can. Let's move it down here. All right. All divided by a times 1, a minus 2, is equal to negative 8 times 1 minus 3 minus 53 over a minus 2. Well, yeah, it's still kind of ugly. But let's combine like terms. 24 plus 25 is 49. 49 minus 47, I'm going to move that one. I'm going to move this all up here, is going to be 2 over a minus 2. And that's going to equal negative 8 minus 3, which is negative 11, minus 53 over a minus 2. When we're solving algebra and there is a variable in the denominator, we multiply through. And this is a quantity. God, am I going to lose my words tonight, Damien?
Seems that way.
Stumbling over my speech. Well, no comments yet, so nobody's really mad at me. So what do we have to do? We have to multiply this whole... You know what? That thing David did last week with the eraser is crazy good. I've never learned this about my own board that I've had for years. I'm going to multiply this whole thing by the quantity a minus 2. So that eliminates a minus 2 here, eliminates a minus 2 here, but I have to multiply it here. Oops, a minus 2. So what do I get? I get 2 equals negative 11 times a minus 2 minus 53. Combine like terms, I add 53 to both sides. I get 55 equals negative 11 times a minus 2. Really didn't plan this board out well. I'm going to have to go down here. Negative 11 times the quantity a minus 2. Well, 55 divided by negative 11 is just negative 5 equals a minus 2. Add 2 to both sides, and I get negative 3 equals a. This was a lot of work. I will admit it. But did you know how to do the polynomial long division? The answer is B, -3. Now, I should have repeated this one because what it really asks is, in polynomial long division, ax is divided into 24x squared, and the result is -8x. So the question truly asks, what is 24 divided by -8? -3. But you'd have to remember that. And I got to tell you the truth, most students don't remember polynomial long division, nor synthetic division, nor rational functions. So it's just better to plug in a number. In this case, we plugged in x is equal to 1. And it still got us there, but it took a lot of arithmetic and algebraic gymnastics to get there. So I do apologize for this one. Test number 3 is still up on the College Board. All right, test number 5. This is a real SAT. On the College Board, there are 10 tests available. And you can still check out test number 2 and 4. A great place to check them out is Reddit. The thing that you want to do is for the ACTs, they're called TIRs. And for the SATs, they're called QASs. If you go to the subreddit RACT or RSAT, for some reason, the subreddit allows tests to be posted, or it links to tests. And the SAT and the ACT doesn't mess with the subreddit, which is really weird because I know they read it because I've seen their comments. But you can get real tests. The TIR for the ACT stands for Test Information Release. The QAS stands for the Question and Answer Service. And what that is was sometime back in the 90s, the SAT and the ACT were sued, and the federal courts made them release the tests to students several times a year. So you could get your own booklet and check on it. The dates for the TIR are December, April, and June. I had a brain fart for a second there. For the QAS, it's October, March, and May. If you take the test on any of those days and pay an extra $20, you get your own booklet. The ACT still mails you a physical booklet, like in the paper copy. It's blank, but they give you your questions. The SAT posts it online. The SAT is trying to stop people like me from taking the booklets and photocopying them and giving them to students. But as you know, teenagers are really crafty at posting things online. So there's plenty of information available online, and that's a really good tip. All right, what do we have here? We have 2x plus 6 divided by the quantity x plus 2 squared minus 2 over x plus 2. Which of the expression above is equivalent to a over x plus 2 quantity squared, where a is a positive constant and x does not equal -2. What's the value of a? Substitute 0. What do I get? 2 times 0 is 0, plus 6 is 6. 2 plus 2 is 0, squared is 4, minus 2 over 0 plus 2, which is 2, is equal to a over 0 plus 2 squared, which is 4. Well, 2 over 2 is the same as 4 over 4, and 6 minus 4 is 2. They have all the same denominator, so a equals 2. How hard was that problem? The SAT makes this really, really hard, but plugging in a number for algebra to algebra got me the right answer. The answer is 2. All right, what do we have next here? Test number 6. Test number 6 was an actual given SAT, and it says which of the following is equivalent or equal to 4x squared plus 6x over 4x plus 2. Well, let's plug in 0. What do we get? 0 plus 0 divided by 0 plus 2. If I plug in x equals 0, I get that this expression is equal to 0. Well, looking at the answer choices, is 0 plus 4 equal to 0? No. Is 0 minus 2 over 2 equal to 0? No. A and D both give me 0. I won't show you how because I'm going to do this next. And that is x equals 0 is equal to 0. Correct. Students jump on this right away. But x plus 1 minus 2 over 2 is also equal to 0. So let's change to red and plug in x equals 1. Well, that gives me 4 times 1 squared plus 6 over 4 times 1 plus 2. And this is 10 over 6. Answer choice A is equal to 1. Is 1 equal to 10 over 6? No. The answer is D. It's just as good to know the wrong answers as to know the right answer. And in this case, I eliminated all the answer choices by using 0 and 1. Isn't this a fun game? I really had a great time when I started looking at rational functions and saying, they're so easy if you just plug in easy numbers. Let's do the right answer. Let's do the correct answer just to show that it works. 1 plus 1 minus 2 over 4 plus 2. 1 plus 1 is 2 minus 2 over 6. 2 into 6's we multiply by 6 over 6. And I get 12 over 6 minus 2 over 6, and that equals 10 over 6. If I'm going too fast, you can play it again. What I don't want to do is bore you by going too slowly. All right, that was test number 6. Oops, what did I do? I pulled up the toolbar. Sorry about that. And here we have, I forget which one test this is off of. Functions. X cubed minus 9x over x squared minus 2x minus 3. When the function of x is divided by the function of g, what is it equivalent to? Notice every single question has the same wording, equivalent to. Well, there's a lot of ugly algebra in the problem, so what I'm going to do is write 0. 0 minus 0 over 0 minus 0 minus 3 equals 0. Well, that was really hard. Let's plug this in. If I put in a 0, well, that's not right. I get 1. If I plug in a 0, I get 3. Well, that's not right. If I plug in a 0 in C and D, I both get 0. So plugging in 0 eliminated 50% of my answer choices in about 5 to 10 seconds. So let's switch colors and plug in x equals 1. Well, what does that give me? 1 cubed is 1 minus 9 times 1 is 9 over 1 minus 2 minus 3. 1 minus 9 is minus 8. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. Minus 8 divided by minus 4 is 2. Okay, let's do C and D. 1 times 1 minus 3 over 1 plus 1. 1 times 1 minus 3 is negative 2 over positive 2, which equals negative 1. C is wrong. Once again, you've noticed with this technique, I've plugged in 0 and I've plugged in 1 and I've eliminated. I'll speak English. How am I doing with my English, Damien?
The word is illuminated.
Illuminated. I illuminated. I'm going to type that word into the chat. I eliminated. Let me get my cursor over here. Eliminate. I eliminated 3 of the 4 answer choices. Let's do the 4th answer choice just so we can prove that I'm right. 1, because I love to prove that I'm right. 1 plus 1 over 3. 1 times the quantity 1 plus 3 over 1 plus 1. And that's going to equal 4 over 2. And does 4 over 2 equal 2? It most certainly does. Well, does this show up on the ACT? Oh, one more for the SAT. No, this is the ACT. Wait, SAT. If you'll notice, the SAT always has this bar above the math problems. So if you see I'm working on something and there's one of these bars, it's the SAT. The ACT, here's a question 41. it also has rational functions. And look what it says. The following expression is equal to all of this algebra. Students freak out and look at all this algebra, and guess what I'm going to do? Take a huge guess. I'm going to say x is equal to 0. Well, 0 squared is 0, plus 5 times 0 is 0, plus 6 equals 6. Over 0 plus 2 is 2, plus 0 plus 5. I get 6 divided by 2 plus 5 equals 8. Well, let's plug in 0. Uh-oh. A gives me 8. It's a pretty good answer. B gives me 8. Ooh, that's a pretty good answer. We're going to have to keep both of those. C gives me 15. D gives me 4. E gives me 11 over 2. So what do I know? D and E and C, D, and E are all wrong. Notice on the ACT there are 5 answer choices, where the SAT there are 4 answer choices. They've eliminated, the SAT has eliminated the 5th answer choice. So your chances of guessing are pretty good. Well, let me erase here. Oh, I'm going to use my fancy pen and erase like David taught me. That's so cool. And let's plug in 1. What color we can use for 1? Purple or red? Purple. 1 plus 5. 1 squared is 1, plus 5 times 1 is 1, plus 6 is 6, plus 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 plus 5. So I've taken this whole thing and I've plugged in x equals 1 to get that. 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 6 is 12. So this is 6, this is 12. I get 12 over 3 plus 6. 12 divided by 3 is 4, plus 6 is 10. Let's plug in 1 into answer choice A. 1 plus 8 is 9. Is 9 equal to 10? No. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10. Is 10 equal to 10? It certainly is. And that's the lesson on rational functions and plugging in a number. If you'd really like me to go through some algebra, I'll do this whole problem with algebra. And what it is factoring. The clue to most of these is what's the denominator. Well, the quadratic equation x plus 5x plus 6 factors into x plus 2 times x plus 3, all divided by x plus 2. The reason I knew it factored into x plus 2 is they gave me x plus 2. Well, x plus 2 cancels into x plus 2 and gives me 1. And x plus 3 plus x plus 5 is 2x plus 8. So if you're good at algebra and you can factor, this wasn't really that hard of a problem. But if you're not good at algebra and you can plug in 0 and 1, you can still get the answers. And the ACT allows a calculator, so you could have plugged this whole thing, this whole nasty, ugly thing right here, into a calculator. You could write the quantity, parentheses, 1 plus 5 plus 6, quantity, divide by 3, plus 1 plus 5, enter, and you would have gotten 10. So the handy-dandy TI-84 solves PEMDAS perfectly. Remember, your calculator is better at arithmetic than you are if you enter it correctly. And then you enter the answers in just like I did, and you would have eliminated 3 of the 5 answer choices and gotten to it quickly. That's rational functions on the SAT. Thanks for joining me for 8:30 prep. We went a good 25 minutes, and I'll see you next Monday night.